My name's Ashley Broker, and I've been clean since February 24th, 2016 with a relapse. But relapse is a part of recovery. So I started using drugs really young, probably about 10. It was my friend's older sisters, and I hung out with older crowd. I would use anything that I can get my hands on. Really started off with like party drugs, alcohol, weed, ecstasy, acid. And then my mom put me into a treatment program at 14. I could not use marijuana anymore, so that's when I started getting into heavier drugs.
Where are you from?
I was born in Colorado and moved to Florida, and I did elementary there and then moved to Buffalo, New York.
When you were 10, what was it that you started using?
It was mainly just weed at first. I kept running away. So my mom put me on this program called PINS, which is like people in need of supervision. Ended up on an ankle bracelet in a detention home.
So when you were 14 and you went to that center, what was like your mindset at the time?
I was angry. I was really angry. I used to fight all the time and just cause problems for no reason. I left on an ankle bracelet and then I went back home and more trouble followed. My mom tried to move to get me out of that. She lost jobs because of the way I acted and also lost relationships.
When would you say was a moment where you were like, this needs to change?
In 2012, I had an overdose. The person I with left me in a hotel and I was down for 2 days and was found by the cleaning lady. And when they brought me in, my blood pressure was 40/20. And they had to do a central line, which ended up nicking my superior vena cava, collapsing my lung. I ended up having a pulmonary embolism, had a stroke, and I was on dialysis. I was in the hospital for 9 months. My whole left side was paralyzed, my face, my hand is still paralyzed, my foot's still paralyzed. So I had to learn how to walk, talk, everything all over again. I was higher in the hospital than I've ever been on the street. Yes. I have a lot of traumas today still from the treatment that I received while I was in the hospital for 9 months. I was treated very poorly, like an outcast. They would stand at the foot of my bed and talk crap about me like I couldn't hear them. And they would pump me full of drugs, even though drugs was the reason I was there. It was like jail. My aunt was trying to take care of me and they were giving me pain pills even outside of the hospital when I left. And I went in my aunt's purse and I stole my medication and I ate 25 OP, 25 milligrams. She took me to the hospital because of that. I don't know if I was trying to kill myself, maybe subconsciously. She ended up kicking me out after that. Ended up at a treatment facility in Long Island. I ended up, living on the streets and being a prostitute, jumping in and out of cars, doing very risky things. I felt really like lost and hopeless and like there was nothing for me, nothing better than this.
What led you out of that?
My aunt, she became my rock even from a distance, and I got put in recovery court and something just changed. I used to take prescriptions from the doctor and put it in bleach water and take a bleach pen and take the writing off. This is before watermarks, so you can't do this anymore. But my friend used to know the jargon that would go on there, and I would go to the pharmacy and get them filled.
So you got caught
Yes.
doing that?
Yes.
By someone at the pharmacy?
Yes. And the cops came and arrested me and I went to jail. I was living back in Buffalo, so I kept getting extradited back to New Jersey to answer the charges. And then I'd get released and I'd go back on the run. So doing that a few times, the judge was like, oh, well, it's either jerk court or prison.
Have you been arrested before that?
Oh, most definitely. Yes.
So
yes.
What was it this time that you were like, I'm not doing that?
I don't know if it was the mixture of like the overdose and sick and tired of being sick and tired. Dealt with a lot of trauma being a prostitute and dealing with a lot of violence. My recovery court journey is a little complicated just because of COVID right in the middle of it and some moves. So I went back and forth between Burlington and Camden a few times. They sent me to another treatment facility where I had a horrible experience of medication. I was getting my medications through them until I got a primary, and they continued to get my medications even after I had told them to stop. And I was seeing a primary doctor and they were prescribing. So I got kicked out of my doctor's office because they thought I was doctor shopping. Almost got sanctioned in court because of this. And it was all like a mistake. I don't even know how they were filling them without me signing for them and stuff. I moved from Camden back to Burlington and they sent me to Solstice in Pemberton. I didn't feel alone. I felt like I belonged, and my counselor, Antoinette, was amazing and learned how to ask for help. I don't know if I wasn't ready to hear it. And at that time, I was still having fun. Solstice, what I liked about them that I seen different, it's individual care. At other treatment facilities I experienced, it was like cookie cutter. Everybody has to do the same thing, and that's not just how people recover. Everybody got high differently, so everybody's going to recover differently. Solstice treats people as individuals and finds out what that specific person needs and then works around that. I am on MAT, which is medically assisted treatment. I take Suboxone, and it helps with cravings and withdrawal in the beginning. Not all facilities provide that, only certain ones. There are different MAT medications. There's Suboxone, there's methadone, and Vivitrol.
And why might someone choose to do medication-assisted therapy as opposed to not?
Somebody might choose MAT because it does give somebody more help that is struggling with cravings and returning to use. It definitely helped me in that manner.
How long is one on MAT?
One can be on an MAT as long as they need to be on. It's all on the person and what works for them.
What are some things that you took from Solstice that you still use in your recovery?
What I got from Solstice that I still use in my recovery now is that it takes a village. I don't have to do it alone.
What have you been doing since Solstice?
I've been doing a lot since Solstice. I'm currently enrolled in Rowan, going to college to obtain my CDAC and hopefully go further to become a licensed social worker. I've managed to get my CPRS, which is a certified peer recovery specialist. I helped build 2 recovery centers in Burlington, helped run the Alumni for Recovery Court, also part of nonprofit organizations for advocacy, New Jersey RAP, and Not One More. And on Thursdays, we have a recovery coach coffee break meeting that is open to anybody and everyone. This is just a meeting we've created for people in recovery or getting into the field as well, just so we could get together and help each other.
Is there a stigma that comes with taking MAT?
100%. There's a lot of stigma around MAT. A lot of people don't consider that being clean. They think you're just replacing one drug for another. But what people don't understand is if you were using opiates to begin with, you're not going to be getting high off this medication, and it just helps you live a normal life and a fulfilling life. One thing I'd like to mention is that not everybody recovers the same, and that one thing I experienced at Solstice that I really loved and appreciated is that they didn't force me to do 12-step meetings. Not that I'm against 12-step meetings, because that does work for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody, and Solstice gave me the option to go to other meetings like Smart Recovery, All Recovery, and Recovery Coach Coffee Break.
What would you wish someone would have told you?
What I would tell somebody at the beginning of their recovery journey is don't give up, and things will get easier eventually.